Hello friends, I welcome you in lecture number 3 on beta and gamma functions. In this lecture we will do some more examples on gamma function. In earlier two lectures we have discussed definition of gamma function. We know that gamma n is given by 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx, where n is positive real number. Also we have proved this recursive formula for gamma function, which is gamma n plus 1 equal to n times gamma n for any positive real number n, and if n is natural number, we have gamma n plus 1 equal to n factorial. Okay, so keeping these three things in mind, we consider some examples in this lecture, which will be using these three properties of gamma function. So we start with this example number 1. We are asked to evaluate integral of e raised to minus 4x x raised to 6 from 0 to infinity. So if we compare given integral with this integral, improper integral, which defines gamma function, we know that this improper integral defines gamma n. So if we compare this with this function e raised to minus y raised to n minus 1, then we will have the idea about change of variable. So from this we can see that we should change the variable from x to y by this substitution, 4x equal to y. So we take 4x equal to y, and then x is y over 4, and therefore if we take derivative of x with respect to y, we have 1 by 4, and therefore dx, we will replace dx by 1 by 4 times dy, and here we can check the limits of new variable y from this substitution. So if we take x equal to 0, y is 0, and when x is tending to infinity, y is tending to infinity. So limits of y are also same as limits of x. So when x is 0, y is 0, and when x is infinite, y is infinite. So now we are able to convert our improper integral from x to new variable y. Our integral is e raised to minus 4x x raised to 6. So limits of y remains as it is, 0 to infinity. 4x is replaced by y, and x is replaced by y by 4. So that is y raised to 4 divided by 4 raised to 4. Here we have 6 power, x is y by 4, and power of y by 4 is 6, so that is y raised to 6 over 4 raised to 6, and dx is replaced by 1 by 4 into dy. So now this 4 raised to 6 times 4, which is 1 over 4 raised to 7, which is independent of y, so we can take it outside, and this we can rewrite as e raised to minus y, and 6 can be written as 7 minus 1 dy. So this improper integral is nothing but value of gamma function at 7, because we know that gamma n is 0 to infinity e raised to minus y raised to n minus 1 dy. So if we compare with n minus 1, n is 7. So we obtain gamma 7 over 4 raised to 7. Now this gamma 7 can be written as gamma 6 plus 1, okay, because we want to use that property. We know that gamma n plus 1 is n factorial if n is natural number. So here gamma 6 plus 1 will be equal to 6 factorial over 4 raised to 7. So this we can simplify. 6 factorial means multiplication up to 1, and here we have 7 times product of 4. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So 1 4 will cancel out here. We can cancel this 2 with this 4, and 2 into 3, which is 6, and there is no cancellation possible. So we multiply here. This is going to be 5 into 3, that is 15 into 3, 45, divided by, this is going to be 16 into 16, that is 256 into 4. And if we multiply these 256 into 4, we obtain 1024. So in this way we can use gamma function to evaluate this type of improper integrals. We consider one more example. Prove that value of this improper integral is nothing but square root of pi over 4 times square root of log 3. Now our function is 3 raised to minus 4x square, and in gamma function we require e raised to minus y times y raised to n minus 1. So here there is no exponential function. So what we can do is we can consider this 3 raised to minus 4x square equal to e raised to minus y. Okay, so using this substitution we will be able to use gamma function, because in gamma function we must have this type of function. If we want to use the definition of gamma function, we must have e raised to minus y times y raised to n minus 1. So we try with this substitution, and let's see whether we are successful or not. So first we assume that 3 raised to minus 4x square is e raised to minus y. Now we take logarithm on both sides. Then if we take logarithm on both sides, logarithm of 3 raised to minus 4x square is nothing but logarithm of e raised to minus y. So using the property of logarithm, this we can rewrite as minus 4x square times log 3, and this becomes minus y times log e, and because this is natural logarithm, value of log e is 1. So therefore we obtain 4x square into log 3 equal to y. Negative sign will cancel out, and therefore x square becomes y over 4 times log 3. So therefore x is nothing but square root of this y over 4 log 3. So this we can rewrite as y raised to 1/2 square root of 4 is 2, and this is square root of log 3. So if we differentiate with respect to y, we have dx by dy equal to this 1 over 2 square root of log 3 is constant. Derivative of y raised to 1 by 2 is 1 by 2, y raised to 1 by 2 minus 1, which is y raised to minus 1 by 2. Therefore dx by dy, this is now 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, which is 1 by 4 square root of log 3 y raised to minus 1 by 2, and if we take this dy on this side, we obtain dx equal to 1 by 4 square root of log 3 y raised to minus 1 by 2 dy. So this we will require, and x is nothing but square root of y over 2 square root of log 3, and if we talk about limits, then x is 0. When x is 0, we can check the limits of y from this or from this also. Y is nothing but 4x square into log 3. So when x is 0, y is 0, and when x is tending to infinity, y is tending to infinity. So limits of y remains as it is. We can write when x is 0, y is 0, and when x is tending to infinity, y is tending to infinity. So now using all these things, we see what we obtain. Our integral is 0 to infinity 3 raised to minus 4x square dx. So therefore 0 to infinity 3 raised to minus 4x square dx, limits of y remains as it is, and we have taken 3 raised to minus 4x square equal to e raised to minus y, and dx is nothing but 1 by 4 square root of log 3 y raised to minus 1 by 2 dy. Okay, let me check again. Okay, fine. So now here this quantity is independent of y, it is constant, so this we can take it outside integral, and here we have 0 to infinity e raised to minus y, and minus 1 by 2 can be written as 1 by 2 minus 1. So by the definition of gamma function, we can see this is nothing but value of gamma function at 1 by 2, and as we know gamma 1 by 2 is square root of pi. So we proved that given improper integral is nothing but its value is square root of pi over 4 square root of log 3, or we can write in this way also, 0 to infinity 3 raised to minus 4x square dx. This we can rewrite as 1 by 4 square root of pi over log 3. So these are very nice applications of gamma function in evaluating this type of improper integrals. We consider one more application. We can prove that value of this improper integral is nothing but gamma n over t raised to n, where n is any positive real number, t is also positive real number, so that we have no problem in dividing by t. So either we can start from right hand side or we can start with the definition of gamma function. Suppose we start from right hand side, then suppose we assume that this improper integral is denoted by capital I. Let capital I equal to e raised to minus tx x raised to n minus 1 dx. So to convert this in gamma function, we assume substitution. Let tx equal to y. Then because t is positive, we can write x equal to y over t, and t is constant, and if we differentiate with respect to y, we have 1 by t, and therefore we can write dx equal to 1 by t dy, and because y equal to tx, when x is 0, y is 0, and when x is infinity, y is infinity because t is positive. So limits of y remains as it is, as limits of x. So when x is 0, y is 0, when x is infinity, y is infinity because t is positive. So therefore right hand side integral I becomes, in I we have 0 to infinity e raised to minus tx. So tx is replaced by y, and x is replaced by y over t. So x raised to n minus 1 equal to y raised to n minus 1 over t raised to n minus 1. Y raised to n minus 1 over t raised to n minus 1, and dx is nothing but 1 by t into dy. So here we have replaced dx by 1 by t into dy. So this is now, here integration is with respect to y, and this is going to be t raised to n minus 1 plus 1, that is t raised to n, and t raised to n is independent of y, so we take it outside integral. This is 0 to infinity e raised to minus y raised to n minus 1 dy. And if we observe, this is nothing but value of gamma function at n, so we obtain gamma n over t raised to n. Okay, the value of I is 0 to infinity e raised to minus t x square x raised to n minus 1 dx, which we have proved as gamma n over t raised to n. Okay, so in this way we can use different properties of gamma function to evaluate certain type of improper integrals. So I hope you like this lecture. Thank you very much.